I failed at being you, but I'm winning at being me. I'm winning at being free, ain't no competition but me. See, I realize that I'm free, and I realize that I'm me, and I found out that I'm not alone, and there's plenty of people like me.
What's good? I'm Jack, and I'm back with another bootleg figure review. But this time I'll be doing a double review of the same character, but from two different figure lines. Now, as you can see, I will be reviewing the SH Figuarts Endgame Armor Thanos and the Chinese company or third-party company ZD Toys Avengers Endgame Thanos. I can't even describe how happy I am to actually have both of these figures in hand, because honestly, the official version of the SH Figuarts, it costs way too much. It costs like $100, and the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Armor Thanos it's pretty close to $100 as well. And I actually did have the Build-A-Figure, but I decided I would sell him and get these two. And basically, you can get both of these figures for the price of either the Build-A-Figure or the official SH Figuarts. So you might as well get both. Now, this figure is from a company called ZD Toys, and I received him first, but I took him out of the box because I've had him. I had him for like almost a week before I received him. I received this guy in the mail the other day, and I just got to say right off the bat, this is not my first time taking this guy out of the box, and this bootleg Thanos is way better than the Infinity War Thanos that I reviewed. Like, this one is way better. And I just like the armored look of Thanos way better in Endgame anyway than in Infinity War. So yeah, I had to have both of these. And as you can see, like all of the accessories and whatnot. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because I'm so like excited to finally be doing a review of both of these guys at the same time. So without further ado, I'm gonna take the bootleg SH Figuarts figure out of the box, and so we can really just get down into this review. Alright, and so here is the SH Figuarts version out of the package, and as you can see, like, both of these figures look extremely good. I mean, to me, they look way better than the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Armor Thanos, and especially the ZD Toys one. I mean, his paint job looks way better, and I mean, his skin may be a lot more purple, but like, you can't lie, this figure looks beautiful. But let's get a closer look at these guys. Alright, here's an up close, more personal look at the ZD Toys Thanos, and well, I'll just take his helmet off and just go over that during the accessories. But as you can see, like, this is a great paint job. I mean, like, this thing is beautiful. Like, it's the most movie accurate Armor Thanos figure so far. Like, this thing it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Head down to his feet. Yeah. Can't gripe too much about the paint job. I mean, it's a knockoff figure, but it looks good. It looks so good. Except for the face, he has those black beady eyes, which are kind of, you know, they look unusual to me, but yeah, but still, this head sculpt looks good. And you probably can't tell, but I'm looking at him through my viewfinder, and he looks blue on camera, but in person he is so, like, he's like majorly purple. Like, he's way more purple in person. He's coming off as more blue in the video, but he's way more purple in person. So just take my word for that. And here we have a close look at the bootleg SH Figuarts Thanos, and I gotta say, you know, he looks good as well. I mean, the awesome, you know, paint imperfection and paint bleeding on, you know, right here on the gold part, and well, especially around the belt where the gold meets the black. And so, you know, his paint job is not as, you know, good as the ZD Toys. and his, you know, belt skirt piece or whatever you want to call it, it's crooked in the back. But I'm not gonna try and fix that. As you can see, another, you know, bleed and paint job. But other than that, he looks good. He looks decent. I mean, there are a few, you know, gold specks on some of the, you know, black throughout the figure, but that's nothing too much to be, you know, worried about or concerned about. I mean, there is a black mark right here on his shoulder. Doesn't bother me that much. But yeah, this thing is amazing. Like, I'm so glad I actually have this figure instead of paying full price for the official version. And as you can see right there, you know, more gold spots. You know, yeah, the paint job on this guy is a little bit more sloppy than the ZD Toys, but hey, what are you gonna do? Now that we got the, you know, paint details and stuff out of the way, now let's take a look at the accessories. I'll start off with the ZD Toys Thanos, and here is his helmet. His helmet is removable, and it looks good. I mean, it looks very good, except for the fact that, you know, there are a few stray black paint marks on the helmet. I don't know if you can pick those stray black marks up because of my lighting, but yeah, there are a few stray, you know, black marks on the helmet, and there's a little, you know, gold paint bleeding on the black right here on the sides of the helmet. But other than that, the helmet looks good. Here we have like 2 purple flame effect pieces that came with the ZD Toys version as well. And yeah, I really like these effect pieces. I'm probably not going to use them that much, but I really do like them. I really appreciate that, you know, this figure came with some effect pieces. And here we have an alternate hand for the ZD Toys. And yeah, this hand is sculpted nicely, and it has a good paint job on it. I mean, I think I switched out the hand. I switched out the weapon holding hand for this hand because this hand came on the figure out of the box. And yeah, it's a nicely detailed and painted hand. And here we have the Infinity Gauntlet, and as you can see, the gems, the Infinity Stone themselves are not translucent. They're just painted on. Like, you know, the green right here for the Time Stone is kind of a sloppy paint job, and I mean, all of the other Infinity Stones, they're painted well. It's just the Time Stone has the sloppiest paint job, but the Infinity Gauntlet, it looks good. It's not as, you know, greatly sculpted and detailed as the SH Figuarts version, but it does the job. It does the trick. And it's a completely solid piece. Alright, and I'll show you, and I'll switch out the arms just to see how this gauntlet fits on the figure. Here we have Thanos' sword, which is probably the main reason why most people will buy the ZD Toys version, because it is the figure with the most accurate weapon from the movie, and this thing is gorgeous. I mean, this sword is perfect. And here we have just like a little display base that came with the figure. I mean, there's like a little peg right here, but it's not solid at all. It's just thin, flimsy plastic. And the base itself is kind of like a rubbery, pliable plastic. And yeah, it's just here for decoration, just to have him stand on. And nothing, you know, nothing too fancy. And now we move on to the accessories for the SH Figuarts version, and here we have his 2 alternate faces, one with kind of a smirking face and one with, you know, just a stern face. And as you can see, the eyes have that deep blue with the black, you know, iris or pupil or whatever you want to call it. And, you know, actually, I mean, these blue eyes make Thanos a lot more menacing than the ZD Toys version. Yeah, I like these way more. And here we have like a grasping open palm hand for the right hand. It's nicely sculpted and detailed as well. I mean, you can even see like the fingernails on the figure. The paint job is done well, and yeah, it's a nice hand to come with them. And here we have a weapon holding hand, And yeah, this is nice as well. I mean, I know I'm constantly repeating myself by saying it's nice, but yeah. Here we have a alternate grasping open palm hand for the gauntleted hand, and yeah, I like the way this looks as well. I mean, the only thing about it is that, you know, 3 out of the 4 gems right here, they all look to be the same color. Like 3 of the gems seem, it looks like he has 3 reality stones in his gauntlet. And this stone looks solid black, and this stone looks green. It looks like the time stone. So basically he has 3 reality stones, 2 time stones, and 1 mind stone. You know, that's that's not exactly accurate. And here we have a open palm hand. It's nicely detailed as well, and as you can see, it suffers from the same color mistakes as the other hand. And last but not least, for the SX Figuarts version, we have his weapon, his sword. And yeah, it's basically the same sword that came with the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. And you know, there's not that, I mean, it's detailed. It has a lot of detail in the sculpt, but you know, there's not much paint on it. It's just silver and, you know, like this copper color. And I know the official version, you can separate the blade, but you can't do that with this one. It's permanently glued, and I'm not going to try and separate it in order, you know, to show you that on this video, because I don't want to risk breaking it. And also, I just noticed something, that right here on the blade, it looks like, you know, it was scuffed or scratched or something. Maybe that happened when I just dropped this weapon on the floor. I'm not sure. I don't know. But, yeah. And, you know, I don't really like this sword, but I have to keep it because it came with the figure. So, yeah, that's a bummer. Now that we have all the accessories out of the way of these guys, let's get into, you know, swapping out some of the heads and the faces and the hands and whatnot. And one thing I didn't notice about the figure is that he has like sort of this like metallic, you know, glitter or residue or whatever over his face, which is, you know, weird. But yeah, you don't really see it when you put the helmet on. So yeah, I'll just keep the helmet on for the rest of the review. And as you can see, the helmet goes on just like that. And I'm kind of nervous about switching this hand out because it was so difficult for me to get it on when I first got the figure, but I will switch it out just, you know, just so you can get a feel for it. Oh, that took a lot of effort. Okay, so there we go. I switched the hands back out, and you know, I probably should have just kept the, you know, weapon holding hand on him, but I wanted to switch this out just so you can, you know, people can see. If you're gonna do that, you might want to warm these hands up in hot water because they're extremely difficult. But I'm gonna switch it back out. That took a lot more effort as well. And yeah, there we have the weapon holding hand back on. Now we'll switch out the left arm and put the gauntlet on. Just pop it off, you know, just like that. Alright, and there we have the gauntlet on the arm. And as you can see, the gauntlet is not articulated at all. It's just for show. It's just a showpiece. So yeah, that's about it for the ZD Toys. And hold up, I'm just gonna switch the gauntlet back out. Yeah, so I switched the gauntlet back out, and now I will, you know, put his weapon in his hand. It's kind of tricky to do this, so I'll have to do it off camera. Alright, and there we have him holding the weapon. I mean, it takes a little finessing, but you can get him to hold the weapon very well. I mean, very well. And so now I'm gonna switch over to the SH Figuarts Thanos, and I'm going to say right off the bat, this one gives me a little bit more trouble because of the way you have to switch out the faces. I mean, I almost broke the peg in the head trying to switch out the faces, so yeah, bear with me because I'm scared I may break it again. But first I'll switch out the hands, and you know, whoops. You know, you can pull, well, I mean, they can pull the entire wrist joint out, but yeah, I'm gonna have to do this off camera. His hand off, and now all I have to do is just pop the other hand on. I'm gonna put the weapon holding hand on, and I'm just gonna allow him to hold his weapon. Just, yep, it's gonna be difficult again. Oh, not that difficult. Yeah, it pops right on, and you know, to get the weapon in his hand, you know, just slide it through the fingers. Ugh. This wants to be difficult. Ooh. Gotta be careful. I gotta do this off camera as well. But here he is holding his sword, and now I'll switch out a hand for the gauntlet hand. Just, yeah, this one is gonna come all the way out as well. Pull the entire pig out. And so yeah, with the SH Figuarts version, you're just gonna have to pull the entire wrist joint out, and then, you know, pull the wrist joint out of the hand. And one thing I didn't notice or mention before was that the gauntlet hand seems to be made out of a translucent plastic that's painted gold. And I don't know if you can really see it that well, but it looks like it's splitting right here at the wrist. You know what I mean? Mainly because, you know, it is a cheaper version. It is a bootleg after all, so yeah. But I'll just switch out the open palm hand, and it should just pop right on. And there, I've switched out the hands. Now we get into the hard part where I try and switch out his faceplate. So yeah, I'll do this by taking his head off, and then you just go from the sides. And you know, the pegs, they go in at an angle, and the one in the middle is the one I almost broke. I don't know if you can really see it that well. Yeah, as you can see, the pegs, they go in at an angle, and this one right here in the middle is the one I almost broke. I don't know if you can see that it's actually broken. So yeah, I mean, it's easier to switch the head out now that I've done it once, but it took me, you know, almost breaking it my first time in order to actually get it done. So yeah, you just slide the face plate out, and if you want it, you can just, you know, let it rest like, you can just let it rest like that, and it'll look like a solid helmet. You know, that's one option for you, but you're here to watch me change out the faceplate, and now I've gotten the helmet stuck, so I got to do this off camera as well. Also, I just noticed that there are no black marks on the helmet, on this part of the helmet. No black on the, you know, no black lines on the top of the helmet. They stop right where the seam to, you know, separate the faceplate. Now that I have the helmet separated, you just, you know, slide that face in, and then, you know, carefully plug that back in, and now you just peg the head back on, and voila, you switched out Thanos' head. Alright, so now let me remove both of their swords so I can get into their articulation. First, I'll go over the articulation of the ZD Toys version. Alright, he can't look up at all. He can't look up. Well, I'll take the helmet off. He can't, his head can only, you know, bob a little left and right. He can't look up and down. It doesn't swivel or hinge at all. No neck hinge. The arms only go, well, they don't go out that far. They only go up that much. You know, they can swivel around, but this is a hard plastic, so you know it's not going up any further than that. You know, it could go around, but you know you'll have to, you know, pull the arm all the way out like that just to, you know, get a little room. No bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, but the elbow, they, you know, look blocky. They look very blocky. And, you know, ball jointed wrist. And it's the same with the other arm, you know. It's only going up that much. No bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Wrist, ball jointed wrist, you know, for the diaphragm joint, it has no diaphragm joint at all. It just has a small little bobble. That's all the range of movement you'll get out of the diaphragm joint. No waist swivel, no waist swivel. But, you know, I don't know what you want to call these, his skirt pieces or whatever, they are kind of articulated. They, you know, pop out like that and they move just a little bit on all sides. You know, the front comes out a little, they give a little clearance for the legs. And yeah, the back, you know, does the same thing. The only thing about this figure is that the leg articulation is the best part of this figure. I mean, well, kind of. You know, the legs can kick out that far. They can, you know, kick forward that much, kick back that much. Double jointed elbows, but they look very blocky and unnatural. A small ankle hinge and a little bit of pivot. And, you know, same with the other leg. You can kick up that far, kick back. You know, blocky double jointed knee. A small pivot and rotation of the ankles. And so, yeah. The ZD Toys one has bad articulation, but it looks good. You know, bad articulation, but it looks good. Now we move on to the SH Figuarts version. Alright, he can look up that much. He can look down that much. You know, bad articulation already out of the gate. For the diaphragm joint, he gets a lot of, you know, more pivot than this guy. So he can bend back that far, bend forward that far. You know, waist swivel, upper waist swivel, lower waist swivel. You know, he can bob around a little bit. Arms can go up that much. It has the, you know, hidden bicep swivel. You know, double jointed elbows. I mean, these elbows look better than that one. And has the ball jointed on the wrist. You just have to pull it out a little bit, you know, just to increase the range of movement. Same with the other arm. It goes up that much. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. You know, whoa, that wrist joint is splitting. But yeah, ball jointed wrist. And I also forgot to mention that this guy has, you know, a butterfly joint. Like, you can see that butterfly joint on both sides, and they get, you know, they get a lot of range, a lot of decent range of movement. And these shoulder pieces are hard as well, so you know, both of these figures have that going for them. But yeah, the skirt piece, it's, you know, a soft malleable plastic, so they don't really hinder articulation at all. The legs can kick up that much, kick back. You know, single jointed knees, because, you know, Thanos doesn't really need double jointed knees. But, you know, his knee joints look way better than that guy over there. You know, ankle, pivot, and, you know, rotation. And it has toe hinge. So, I mean, it's a SH Figuarts figure. What do you expect? Right leg kicks up that much, you know, single jointed elbows, ankle pivot and rotation, toe hinge, you know, and the legs do that drop down method thing. All right, and actually when you pull the legs down, he's actually the same height as this guy. So yeah, that's cool. Also, and one thing to note, this guy is, you know, very, floppy. He's very floppy. So, yeah, that's another thing to know. And when I first opened him, he wasn't so floppy, but now that I've played with him, moved him around a little bit, loosened up his joint, he's gotten floppy too. Just something you should take note of. It's hard to get these guys to just stay standing up because they're so floppy, but yeah, that's just something you don't have to do. Looks like he's doing the wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. But yeah, enough with all that. Now that I have their articulation out of the way, let's measure these guys and see how tall they actually are. Now, the ZD Toys Thanos stands at about, let's see, at close to 8 inches. He's, very close to 8 inches. Yeah. Well, he's exactly 8 inches. He's exactly 8 inches tall. And the SH Figuarts Thanos stands about 7.5 inches. And with the drop down method of the legs, he can be, he goes up to, exactly 8 inches as well. So, yeah, these are pretty, decently heighted figures. Now, the bootleg Infinity War Thanos was actually shorter than the official version, and since I don't have the official version of this, of this guy to compare him to, I'm just gonna assume that, they got the height right this time with this figure, with this bootleg. The height is extremely accurate with the bootleg, but if anyone has the official version, just comment down below if, the figure is, 7.5 inches tall. Just let me know. Now that we have the heights out of the way, let's get into some size comparisons. Here they are next to the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and the Marvel Legends X-Force Wolverine. Alright, and here they are next to the SH Figuarts Infinity War Hulk. Here they are next to NECA 90s Turtles Michelangelo, Power Rangers Lightning Collection Shadow Ranger, Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary MCU Hela. So yeah, that's about it for figure comparisons, and I apologize that it was cut short, but this video is already probably going to be longer than it should be, and it's, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's after 4 o'clock in the morning while I'm recording this, so yeah, I'm getting tired and I'm getting sleepy, and I just want to hurry up and wrap this video up. But I gotta say, all in all, I really like these two figures, for two very unique reasons. I love this figure because it has the best articulation of the two, and I like this figure because it looks the best. I mean, it has the best paint job to me, despite how purple this guy actually is. I recommend getting both. If you're thinking about getting the official version of the SH Figuarts or the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure, you might as well spend that money and get both of these guys, because you can get both of these for the price of one of those. So that's a no-brainer. And, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this figure about a 7, and I give this figure like an 8.5, or, I'll give this figure a 9, because it's just that good to me. Like, I'm glad I have this figure, but I really like this figure a lot more than this one because of the articulation. That's the only reason. But yeah, and also I want to say, I didn't compare any of these guys to, some of the bootleg figures that I reviewed before these guys, because I don't have some of those bootleg figures. I no longer have none of the bootleg Infinity War SH Figuarts figures, nor do I have basically I've sold most of the bootleg figures that I've reviewed up until now. The only ones that I didn't sell were the bootleg Revotech, Deadpool, and Wolverine. I ended up selling my official X-Force Deadpool because, you know, I needed the money. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I really got to say about that. But also, I want to say I recently hit 300 subscribers. Yes, this is Sparta. I've hit 300 subscribers, and I want to say thank you all for, you know, continuing to watch my videos. And it really means a lot to me that I hit 300 subscribers before the end of the summer. So yeah, that gave me all the motivation to, you know, keep going and keep pushing with my YouTube channel and my videos. So yeah, I'm working on even more videos. And I also want to announce, because I have 300 subscribers, that I'm working on sort of, you know, like stop motion or still motion series that involves all of my action figures. And I've been developing it for a while, and I'm going to release a short preview of this series after this video is edited and posted and whatnot. I mean, the preview might go up after, you know, a video that... another video might come up before the preview, but the preview is coming. It's going to come up. I'm going to post it. And whatever you see in the preview, it won't be the final, you know, product, basically. It won't be the final look of the series. I may change a few things, but basically, I'm working on the series, and actually, the entire plot of this series revolves around these two, because I want to include my official figures and some of my bootleg figures, especially the ones that I really like and really hold up well against official figures. So, yeah. But anywho, it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I want to say thank you to everyone who watched this video all the way through. Thank you to all my recent subscribers. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you all allowing me to reach 300. And with that being said, it's been real.